Holy Mother Church transmits a wonderful understanding of how Jesus Christ sits at the center of everything, of all lives, all generations, all history, all time. And he who is God made man is somehow contained by the Blessed Virgin Mary, who in a sense represents creation. And all these truths are depicted in an illustration in this old missal. The missal was published in 1944 in the Archdiocese of Westminster, and today is the Vigil of St. Thomas, so the missal directs us to the Mass Ego Autem on page 1 of the Common of Saints. So here we are, page 1, here's the Mass Ego Autem, and the missal has this wonderful illustration. In the center we see our Lord Jesus, Rex Gloriae, King of Glory. He is enthroned on Our Lady, Regina Sanctorum Omnium, Queen of all saints. On his right hand, St. Peter with the keys, St. Paul with the gospel and the sword, and on Jesus' left hand, King David with the crown and harp, and Moses with the rays of glory on his head and the law in his hands. Again on Jesus' right, St. Benedict, St. Gregory, and then St. Sebastian and Stephen, two martyrs with the palms. You can see St. Stephen dressed as a deacon. And then on Jesus' left, you have Adam and Eve, and St. Joachim and St. Anna. It is great to see our first parents there in heaven, adoring Jesus and Mary. God was pleased to create Our Lady, the Immaculate Conception, as a preparation for Jesus' birth. He was also pleased to create St. Joachim and St. Anna as preparation for Our Lady. How holy beyond all our words were St. Anna and St. Joachim, who under the Old Testament began at least to undo the knot tied by Eve and Adam. At the top we have St. Mary Magdalene, St. Therese, St. Cecilia and St. Agnes, and then from the Old Testament, Judith, Esther, Susanna, and the mother martyred with her 7 sons in the time of the Maccabees. Close to Jesus, St. Michael and St. Gabriel, archangels, the latter with the Ave that he brought to Mary. And here beside Jesus, straddling the Old and New Testaments as it were, St. Joseph and St. John the Baptist, so very close to Jesus and Mary in heaven. And there around the throne, the little ones, the holy innocents. There was no sin in them when they died for Jesus under the wicked order of Herod. I don't want to wear out your patience with plugging my books, but I wrote Adam's Deep Sleep to show that Christ is in David and Moses and many others of the Old Testament. Crushing Satan's head, in part to show that Judith and Esther and Susanna and the Maccabean mother all point to Our Lady. And crucifixion to creation to show this all goes back to Adam and Eve, God's perfect plan. The Church, like God, likes to anticipate what is coming and signal that it is on the way. And so we have the Feast of St. Thomas on 21st December, his Vigil on the 20th. We have Christmas Day, the Nativity of our Lord, 25th December, the Vigil on the 24th. We have the new and eternal covenant instituted by Jesus himself, and it's anticipated and signaled by the Old Covenant. So the saints before Christ came anticipate his life, prophesy it, look forward to it. And the saints after he came remember him, commemorate him, imitate him. All find their meaning in him. And it is Our Lady who gives birth to him whom the whole universe cannot contain. She's our mother as well. Have a very blessed Christmas.